So I was first employed as an auxiliary, so it was the first time in Queensland they brought auxiliaries in, which were just part-time. We used to go in for training, started once a week on a Tuesday night, and we used to go in and just clean the chief's office, empty the bins. Well, funny story, my mother saw that they were employing these auxiliary firemen and you had to go and put your name down at the fire station. So me and my best mate, who used to live behind me, she drove us, because she'd normally drive us to the pub. She said, I'm going to drop you at the fire station, you both go and put your name down, and we both got jobs. And so I can thank my mother for my firefighting career. There was only 19 of us, 15 firemen and 4 officers. They were in charge of the 4 shifts, and they were all locals. Back in those days, they wouldn't employ anyone without a trade, because I was offered the job first, but I had 6 months to go on my trade, and I said, no, we're not going to offer you the job until you finish your trade. So all the firemen there were either plumbers or they had a trade behind them. A normal crew is only sort of 1 and 2, so an officer and 2 firemen. You spend most of your life with them, and night shifts you'll be sleeping with those same men, and it was another type of family basically, because you spend 14-hour night shifts, so you do 2 days and 2 nights, so your days would be 8 in the morning till 6 at night, and then your night shift is 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock the next morning. So you spend an awful lot of time with them. Yeah, so all of a sudden we get these officers turning up, and they said they'd come from regional office in Maryborough. Oh, so righto, that's a long way away, and so they'd turn up and, we're doing this and we're going to change this policy and do this, and now we're going to, work together and like mutual aid agreements. If, we get a job in the middle of Bundaberg and Maryborough, well, we can go, we'll join in the middle, and if we need both stations to go, well, just things like that. Certainly equipment was upgraded better, and I'll give them one thing, as soon as we went to like a statewide, we used to get replacement fire engines a lot quicker. So a lot of the equipment sort of was upgraded and access to it. Basically they had a standard plan of a fire engine lasted 10 years at our level station, and then when ours replaced, it cascaded down to maybe a part-time station where, like Bungarra, which was like an auxiliary. When I first joined, it was the chief officer, Des Stutchbury, and he was an old style chief. If he did something wrong, he'd tell you and he'd send a rocket up you, but after he'd done that, he was just a nice bloke, and so he was good. Same as the deputy was Theo Millers. When the board system went and they got rid of the chiefs and deputies, they brought in like regional commissioners. I remember there was a guy, Mike Hall, he came from England. Yeah, he was good. He was a Pommy guy. Another guy was a regional commissioner, was a Peter Preedy. And he was one of the first people from outside the fire service that they employed. He was Lieutenant Colonel from the Army, and he was one of the best managers that we had. And he was based in Maryborough. He was in charge of our region. I know he gave us, one year he gave us 10,000. He said, you go and buy whatever you want to buy, TV, lounge chairs. But they soon got rid of him because I think the guys liked him too much. Yeah, he only lasted, like his contract might have been 3 or 4 years, but they soon got rid of him. But he was one of the best bosses. Oh, a lot of the older guys like, Mick St Ledger, Billy Hilscher, there was Davey Nugent. He started when they had a cadet firefighter, and that was a long time ago. Collie Picalis, he did the same thing. They were there for, 40 odd years. With the older guys, they were all locals. They all spent a lot of time in the one job. Whereas nowadays, there are people that live in Sunshine Coast, transfer to Bundaberg, but they want to get back there, so it's sort of different in that way. When I was in the job, they were all locals, weren't interested in going anywhere else, were happy to stay in Bundy because they either, lived there and had families, brought up families in Bundaberg. Oh yeah, they knew the area and it was good. And they were good firemen too, especially when I started. Being younger, and these guys, I knew they were been there for 15, 20 years. I could trust them, and I just followed them around. They knew what they were doing, and that was it. you go to a job, whether it's a fire or whatever, the officer didn't have to tell everyone what to do because everyone knew what to do. It'd just be a look or whatever. You just knew what the other people were thinking because you spent so much time with each other. We were always together because we were a crew. That's what I miss.